So welcome along to Science Sketchbook's video on light and what happens when it hits an object, when it interacts with something that it comes into contact with. Now, before we get into 4 different ways in which this happens, we're going to revise some basics about light and how it travels. So, you will have heard it said that light travels in a straight line, but this is a light wave. Now, light behaves as a wave and it also behaves as particles, which are known as photons. And with light, it's very difficult to say exactly what it is, but we can say a lot of things that it does, how it behaves, how we can observe it. So, essentially, light does travel in a straight line, but within that straight line, there is a frequency of waves, which is a bit confusing. However, what is helpful to remember is the size of this wave, which is between 400 and 700 nanometers. Now, to put that in context, a human hair, if I try and pull one out of my head, a human hair is 100,000 nanometers, which puts light on a very, very small scale indeed. So the point being is that we can say that light does travel in a straight line, which is very important for us to understand. And also, light travels very fast. The universal constant, which is represented as c in a vacuum, which is 299,792,458 meters per second. So, some basic things about light. It travels very fast in a straight line. If you have a beam of light that hits our lovely object here, one of the things that it will do, if say this is a piece of glass, is go straight through. So this one is a very simple one to start us off with, to warm us up. And this is called transfer. Trans means across. Number 2 then, if we have light coming at a certain angle, it will bounce off. I'm sure you can think of many examples of this, such as mirrors, and glass, polished metal. Reflection. What's important to remember here is that it bounces off at the same angle. So I'll just do some wiggly lines to see light energy going into the actual object. So it doesn't come through out the other side and it doesn't bounce off, it gets absorbed. So this is the process of absorption. And then, fourthly and finally, and it's to do with light slowing down. We need to understand here that light travels at almost 300,000 meters per second in a vacuum. So there's nothing in the way. However, light will slow down if it hits something like a glass of water, for example. And when it slows down, it will change angle. And this process is called, not reflection, but it is a similar word, but it's called refraction. So, to recap, light will transfer through objects such as glass. Just means go straight through it. Dead easy. Nothing complicated there. Reflection will bounce light beams off at the same angle. For example, with a mirror. Absorption is when the energy of the light gets taken in by the object, such as, say, a piece of wood. And then refraction happens when light changes angle, it bends. And when it slows down as it passes through certain types of objects, such as water.